Yeah, because, you know, there are many who will look at this and see they've seen several cases. But in terms of how we handle this kind of matter,
now you're talking.
How do you then convince people who have bought into what he has said, no matter what anybody has to say, those who have been displaced from their homes, those who cannot go back to their homes, some of those who are giving testimonies in that panel saying, in fact, they were categorical here. Some of them particularly named the soldiers from 93 Battalion in Benin. They were categorical. What should be done in this case?
I just said here not too long that I expect the military authorities to actually investigate some of this.
Isn't this beyond the military authorities?
Because at the end of the day, an investigation will be carried out, and it will be carried out by the military authorities, even if the directive is coming from the commander-in-chief.
The same military that has been accused?
Say again, please.
The same military that has been accused should carry out the investigation?
Okay, then set up an independent panel then to look at it. I am so confident that, look, the military hierarchy wouldn't direct this sort of thing. And even if it's occurring on ground, it cannot be, be ascribed to collusion. It might be emanating from lack of action, inaction. Why did you not do this? Why did you not do that?
Let's not even forget that Benue State Governor, remember in the heat of all of this, there are several comments of him saying that the military, a certain group of military, did actually write to him that they were coming to attack. And he said he had notified the authorities, then nothing happened. And then part of that statement, part of what those who visited him much later also said that in that letter, that they actually did say, forget about the military because, look, we have support. So if that letter were to be made available to the press and they read everything and you saw that part, would your views change?
That was a letter to the CNC, am I right?
No, the letter that the group, I don't know which group of military,
wrote
to the governor, saying that we are coming to attack.
And they were saying, forget the military.
That we have support from the military.
If I see such, sincerely speaking, I think there is a need to call the Chief of Army Staff's attention to it and say, sir, can you investigate this? Can you look into this? Gentlemen, at least I can, as we sit here, speak for the hierarchy of the military. Most of them are individuals I have either worked with, that have either bossed me within one step, or I would say costmates, or one step below. Some of the individuals I see at the top hierarchy of the military are people who make me every day say, I think the army is blessed today. How I wish we can retain this type of leadership. When I say retain, I'm not saying retaining the same sort of people, but we're having this type of chaps, imagine, as leaders in the military. I'm talking about people whose character you can vouch for. I'm talking of people who, if you are waking from your sleep and you're told they did this, you can say, no, I don't think. No, I don't think Ibrahim can do this. No, I don't think the DMI can do this. Or so you could go on and really vouch for some of these guys. So that's why when you see me saying, look, the hierarchy of the military cannot be part of this. There might be some inaction down at the operational level that needs to be addressed. There are commanders on ground who probably need to answer some questions.
Now, for those who suggest that, okay, well, haven't heard these comments because they may have caused some damage in some quarters in terms of belief in the army or the morale in the army. So what about those who suggest that, okay, some of the way they suggest that this be handled is such that in the light of several allegations or comments I have said, look, okay, let's rejig the security architecture in terms of those who lead it. If the political authorities were to say, all right, I need to change something about the leadership of the army to demonstrate that, well, yes, we've heard these comments, even though they believe that it cannot be true, but to further demonstrate that we want some sort of inclusion, we change the hierarchy. Those who suggest that, would they be out of place?
No, they wouldn't be. If the suspicion gets to a level where it's no longer bearable, one could always say, look, if there's nothing to hide, let them go ahead. Change the leadership if you wish. Reject the entire national security and defense management architecture even, which to me has even, apart from changes in terms of person, there are lots of things within the national security defense.
Some say it's one-sided.
No, you are talking about appointments now. I'm not talking about appointments because when you talk about appointments, I have my reservations. And if you want me to pour them out, I could come up. I don't really believe in this constitutional spread. I must tell you the fact. And that is why I don't subscribe to the President's Executive Council the way it is constituted. Why? Because I feel that if we had not subscribed to this idea of representation from everywhere, we've got good hands and brains that can help us run this country better. Whether they are all from your village, I don't want to know. It's my personal opinion. Get people who can really give us results. Simple. That they are spread, all the 36 and 37 states or whatever, does not make our best hands come on board at times. If only in subscribing to that constitutional requirement, we were picking our best hands and brains from each of those areas, frankly, people like me wouldn't have any qualms. But now even that there is this talk about they all coming from one part of the country and so on, are they performing? That's my only question. I really don't care much about where they come from.
Do you think
they are Nigerians, period.
Now, almost in final analysis, do you think that his comments hold water, make sense, or not?
I have earlier on said this is a voice that cannot be ignored. And like Barrister Emmanuel said, ignoring it will be to our own peril. It cannot be ignored. Let's take it seriously, see what we can do about it, not just ignore it. And then, on a final note,